Mike Huckabee weighed in on the 10-year-old girl from Paraguay who was raped and forced to carry the baby to term. Here's his take.
Let nobody be misled. A 10-year-old girl being raped is horrible. But does it solve a problem by taking the life of an innocent child? And that's really the issue. I know people. I worked for a man for several years, James Robinson, who was the result of a rape. His mother went to 3 doctors in Houston, Texas in 1943, begged doctors to abort the baby. None of them would do it. They all refused. Today, his organization feeds, cares for, and brings living capacity for water to hundreds of thousands of people across the world. That would never have happened, Dana. So when I think about one horror, I also think about the possibilities.
You know you're off base when you say something like, and I quote, "A 10-year-old girl being raped is horrible, but..." There is no but, Mike Huckabee. There is no but that should follow that sentence. No, a 10-year-old girl being raped is horrible. Full stop. But no, he had to do, but I know this one guy who he was going to be aborted, but then he wasn't aborted. Now he's alive, and he's a good dude. Well, that's the definition of anecdotal. How many examples are there on the other side where you have kids born into a family that does not give a fuck about them, and then also a society that doesn't give a fuck about them, because Mike Huckabee's the same guy who says this, but then he turns around and cuts your welfare and cuts your food stamps and cuts the social safety net, so you're totally assed out when you fall on hard times. No, I can't stand this, man, because in the U.S., unfortunately, on many issues, there aren't two legitimate sides. I would love to have a legitimate debate on the issue of abortion, but there isn't a legitimate debate to be had when one of the sides says a 10-year-old rape victim should carry the baby to term. You're so pro-life that you want to endanger the life of a 10-year-old. He acts like there's not medical concerns that come about as a result of a 10-year-old being pregnant. And by the way, let's say the kid does not die in childbirth. What then, Mike? What happens? What is a 10-year-old going to do, Mike? Go get a job at the local factory and take care of your kid. Because again, you want to cut the social safety net. You don't want there to be a social safety net there to catch them when they're on hard times. So what do you want to do? A 10-year-old go to work, shut the fuck up and go to work, make minimum wage, and then maybe your kid will have a better shot at life, even though they won't, and your life is fucking ruined because you're going to work from when you're 10 years old? And you're going to try to provide for a kid? Motherfucker, I'm 27. I'm not responsible enough to have a kid right now. This guy is talking about a 10-year-old rape victim. No, there are no two legitimate sides. Mike Huckabee's side is pure lunacy. Mike Huckabee's side is, if you're raped, I don't care. If there's a fatal defect in the fetus, and the fetus won't make it anyway, I don't care. Have a stillbirth. I don't care. If the mother's life is threatened, I don't care. I don't care. Hey, you just finished having sex. You just finished. I'm going to force you to carry that baby to term. No morning after pill, none of that stuff. I'm going to force you to carry to term. A fucking gamete, a zygote, an embryo, has Second Amendment rights. I, Mike Huckabee, have declared. Well, no. Don't fucking come around here talking about small government and talking about conservatism when you want government to be so large that it gets inside of the vagina of women. You're not even willing to make the most basic exceptions to your anti-abortion mentality.